Welcome to EAC Talk Show. I'm your host, Anthony Ellis. My guest today, he played an integral role in Cambodia's entrance to ASEAN in 1999, Dr. Kim Hourn. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
So you're just about to fly out to Indonesia for your new job. How do you feel?
Excited, of course overwhelmed because this is a new role, new responsibility, new position. But I'm very fortunate to be appointed by the ASEAN leaders with recommendations by the ASEAN foreign ministers. So I will go with full confidence, the fact that the leaders have given me their trust and confidence. So I will go into this work with great feelings that my role is to continue to build on the successes and achievements of ASEAN that we have up to now, and we will continue to take ASEAN to the next level in different dimensions that we can do. I will support the journey of the ASEAN integration and the ASEAN community building, of course, everything for the ASEAN people.
So the role for Secretary General of the ASEAN and the ASEAN Chairman, obviously it's going to be two roles. What's the difference? Explain the difference.
Of course, the ASEAN Chairman is the leadership position role, meaning that all 10 countries by charter, ASEAN Charter, they take leadership role through annual rotation. The Secretary General of ASEAN is to play a supporting role, particularly as a resource institution and also as an institution that would keep the what we call institution memories, but also to provide all kinds of supports and services to the ASEAN chair on the one hand, but also to all ASEAN member states on the other. In addition, of course, we will work also with the external dialogue partners that we engage as well. The bottom line, of course, is that we have to work to support all the ASEAN mechanisms we have in place up to now.
So we have 10 Asian members and soon the 11th with Timor hopefully joining soon. So your role is to help the chairmanship. So of course every year that changes the chairmanship. So you this year's Indonesia, next year's Laos. So basically you will help, of course, the chairman each year when they change. So how long is your role for?
Will be for a period of 5 years. This is the tenure for a period of 5 years. But I want to add on that my role also is to support ASEAN member states that playing the coordinatorship role with the dialogue partner of ASEAN. In addition, of course, we also support other, basically the ministerial meetings, the senior official meetings, and others that we have, like I say, it's all the ASEAN mechanism. In addition, I want to say is that Timor has been admitted as the 11th member, but of course with the observer status.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of time how this will be changed to a more full member.
Excellent. So what is your vision as the leader of the Asian Secretariat? What is your vision?
Well, my vision is to continue to build on the resounding success of ASEAN. ASEAN has a clear vision already, particularly the ASEAN Post Vision 2025. Now, of course, the way I look at ASEAN is to what I call the 6 Ps. First, of course, is to continue to support ASEAN's role in maintaining peace. So the first piece, peace, stability, security in the region. This is very important. We cannot take peace for granted.
Yeah.
So my role is to support ASEAN to make sure that this regional peace will be maintained. And of course, we hope that all the countries in the region, but also all ASEAN dialogue partners, sectoral dialogue partners, development partners, and external partners will continue to support ASEAN centrality and our efforts in the community building. Second, of course, is the second P, I would say, the prosperity. ASEAN will continue to work on building prosperity. It's important that we continue to enhance our economic recovery, economic integration, economic connectivity. We want to see more what we call intra-ASEAN trade, meaning more trade within the region, within the ASEAN zone, but also continue to enhance with our partners through the FTAs arrangement that we have, including the latest RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. This is all for the benefits. It's a win-win for all. And the third P, of course, is about the planet. Our region is very much vulnerable to climate change and, of course, the natural disasters. So it's important that we will have to make sure that we focus and give priority on how we take care of the environment, the green economy, clean energy, and so on and so forth. And the fourth P would be, at the end of the day, we talk about the people. As the end, we still have a lot of young people, the youth. They are the future of ASEAN. Yeah. So the people is what is the top priority that we have to take care of our people. We still have pockets of poverty in the region. That's where our priority should also be focusing on. The next P, of course, is building partnership within ASEAN, across the region, with external partners that we have. We need to continue to strengthen our partnership with all stakeholders. Finally, of course, ASEAN still have a lot of potentials. So I think it's important for us to identify and transform each potential we have into great benefits for all of the those stakeholders. So it's important for us to make sure that potentials do not stay potentials, but they become the realities, become transformed and produce substantial benefits for all the different stakeholders in ASEAN.
Yeah, some great principles there. Cambodia also being such a young generation, average age I think is 27 years of age, so they have a lot of young children to learn still a lot. And I've seen Cambodia change over the years, and ASEAN in general seems to be a lot more peaceful, more free trade agreements and things like that, which is, I suppose, a big part for you to get involved in.
Well, now what we want to see is to see the increasing people-to-people ties. So that's good for tourism in the region. That's where, for example, in the coming weeks, we will see the ASEAN tourism meeting coming up. So it's good to continue to focus on reviving and strengthening the tourism cooperation within the region. It's all about how we cooperate and how we work for mutual benefits and collaboration.
And unfortunately, with too many wars happening at the moment in one of our Asian sister countries, unfortunately, unsettled at the moment, I suppose that will be also a big part that tried to things up in Myanmar to make things back to normal.
But for Myanmar, I think it's important for us to continue to stick to what have brought us in this far, and that is unity and solidarity of ASEAN. Of course, Myanmar is going through very difficult internal challenges, and it's important that we continue to support and constructively engage with Myanmar. Of course, at the end of the day, the Myanmar people will determine their own future through Myanmar-led, Myanmar-owned process. But of course, ASEAN as a community, we have to support Myanmar in ways that would be very safe and peaceful and inclusive for the Myanmar people. Of course, that's why during Cambodia Chairmanship ASEAN, Cambodia, of course, and ASEAN pushing for the reduction, if not elimination, of violence on the ground, to have a permanent ceasefire, eventually, or of course, is to ensure that there will be inclusive, broad political dialogue, and of course, at the same time, is to allow humanitarian assistance that will be able to deliver to the Myanmar people who are needed greatly, and of course, without any obstacles.
And climate control is also a difficult one because there's so many countries, not just with ASEAN, it's the whole world that's involved with nature, and things are changing, and unfortunately some of humans have poisoned the kind of thing. So it's re-educate and try to redirect and change things to make climate control better.
Well, of course, it's a global issue, but actions and responsibility lie with each nation state and of course the people. All of us have a role and responsibility to help reverse the current climate change. We've seen that now what some call climate crisis, some even call climate emergencies. But what's important is that the climate change has produced a lot of destructive outcomes we've seen already. So massive floods, drought, even the temperatures now going down very, very low, particularly this year, very, very cold. So I think it's also this part of the world is that we're seeing now a lot of changes, and that will affect the lives of the people in this region and around the world.
And how many times has a Cambodian held the job as the Secretary General of ASEAN? We know you've just mentioned it's going for 5 years, so yeah.
Yeah, for Cambodia, this is the first time.
First time. Oh, congratulations! To the first one must be an honour. You know, you must be doing something right to be able to be chairman and the ASEAN secretary.
Well, it's again, it's I've been nominated, selected by the government, right, of Cambodia, particularly our Prime Minister, who has given me the opportunity and given the trust. And of course, I was basically approved by the ASEAN Foreign Minister, and they recommended me, and for the official appointment by the ASEAN leaders.
Excellent. What political and diplomat affairs will you first start handling to do?
Well, the first time I was initially I was working as a think tank in the think tank sector for roughly about 10 years. Then I was invited to serve in capacity as an advisor to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. And from then on, within the next few years, I was promoted to the Secretary of State of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. But I was already working on ASEAN as ASEAN some leader for Cambodia, or ASEAN senior official leader for Cambodia.
Excellent. So what extent will you help the Cambodian given to gain popularity and during your term?
Well, it's not about, because I'm going to be the Secretary General of ASEAN. So I will be working for the ASEAN interests. The ASEAN interests will be always at my heart. And that's what I have to be very clear and be mindful of it, that this is the role that I will do, is to promote the interest, the collective interest of the ASEAN community.
Excellent. And what are the challenges facing the ASEAN in terms of regional and non-regional politics? What are the major?
Well, of course, for ASEAN, we have been dealing with a number of challenges. Some have been there for some time, some are quite new, for example. Challenges was ranging from the issues of now we have Myanmar, of course, we have South China Sea issue, Korean Peninsula, even more intense now because of the repeated missile tests, and yes, getting more and more, basically being fired, test fire. And of course, we also have recently the pandemic, like COVID-19 pandemic now, of course, still a priority for ASEAN to make sure that we making a good transition, a great recovery in this area. COVID-19 is not over yet, but so that's why the priority remains there. Then we have climate change, right? The food and energy security challenges there as a result of the Ukraine-Russia war, basically, or the war in Ukraine. And that has been major repercussions for ASEAN, but also for the entire global community. Then, of course, we have other issues that we have seen already, particularly the tensions, what we call the geopolitical strategic tensions, that ASEAN will continue to work as a force for good, a force for peace, and a force for stability, and a force for prosperity.
And of course, last year, 2022, Cambodia held the chairmanship. The Prime Minister, Hun Sen, who did actually a fantastic job. It was a very busy year where he signed 103 documents were signed. And so it was a big year for the ASEAN. Do you expect another big year this year?
Well, last year was a very important year, particularly after several years of COVID-19, and then we had been having what we call the online meetings, a lot of online meetings. And then for the first time that the ASEAN leaders, they met physically among themselves, but also with the leaders from the developing countries. So Cambodia was in a position to host all this meeting, and our, of course, our Prime Minister Hun Sen was able to steer, of course, and lead ASEAN during Cambodia ASEAN Chairmanship. Of course, also there's a great team there. We have the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister President and his team. And of course, ASEAN's work is involved everybody, including security, include other sectors. So it was, I would say, a resounding success for Cambodia. But this year, I think under Indonesia chairmanship of ASEAN, we expect Indonesia to play a very successful chairmanship also, because Indonesia has all the resources and the experiences and the leadership that it takes to move ASEAN for 2023.
So the ASEAN, as we know, every year it changes to one of the 10 partners, and of course then the chairmanship is in charge for that year. So that they are based all over the 10 Asians, but your headquarters and you are based in Jakarta only?
Well, the ASEAN Secretariat has always been based in Jakarta, Indonesia, and that's where it has been, and that will always be. I think the staff and the Secretary General of ASEAN, they work at the ASEAN Secretariat. And in fact, some of the meetings of ASEAN now have been, but also will be organizing at the ASEAN Secretariat. So this is where a lot of activities, a lot of functions and events have been taking place, and also will take place.
Thank you very much for your time today. I know you're flying out soon to Indonesia. Giving us your time, thank you very much. And good luck for your new position, and all goes well.
Thank you very much.
Okay. There you have it, the Secretary General of the ASEAN, Dr. Hourn. It was a great honour to have him here on a EAC talk show to give us his last interview in Cambodia, right here in the VIP terminal in Phnom Penh International Airport, just before he left for Indonesia. We thank you very much for your precious time. Thank you all for watching EAC Talk Show. I'm your host, Anthony Ellis. Goodbye.